Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is Muhammad Abdullah Khan speaking, and welcome to my channel Voice of Series. In today's video, we will be covering a pivotal topic of economics, which is demand and supply. So, starting from first, we will be discussing the field of law of demand and supply. That basically what is the concept of law of demand and supply. This law generally expl- explains the two fundamental concepts of economics, that how changes in price of a commodity, resources or a product affects their demand and supply. As the price surges, supply grows, whereas the demand faces a shrinking trend, and vice versa. For like, as price drops, supply drops, whereas demand grows. This is because as the buyers have a finite resource, or in other words, have a limited resource, so their spending on a product is limited, meaning that if the price of the product rises, the demand of that product will go low, and vice versa. So in a result, demand curve slopes downwards from left to right, as you can see on your screens. Changes in demand levels as a function of products price relative to buyers income or resources are known as income effect. Now we will be discussing in very brief the factors which changes demand. There are price factors which we have discussed in quite detail previously in this video, so we will be directly going to the non-price factors. There are a couple of reasons that why demand changes due to non-price factors, which is also detonated as exogenous factors. Starting from first, we can say that as the income rises of an individual, the demand for normal good will rise, but the demand for inferior goods like public transport will decrease. Other factors which we can discuss is that as the taxation on a product increases, the demand for that product will decrease, or if the taste or the fashion of a society changes, that will also affect the demand of that typical product or good. Moving on, if the price for substitutes changes, for example, if the price of tea falls, the demand of coffee will rise. This is because substitutes are goods which do contains an alternative demand. Last non-price factor which we will be discussing in this video is the concept of complementary goods. For example, if the price of milk falls, the demand for tea will rise. This is because complements are basically the goods which have a joint demand. Moving on, now we will be discussing certain exceptions to this law, the law of demand. One, one kind of these exception is giffen goods. Giffen goods are typically those goods which are low priced, non luxurious, or can be categorized as inferior goods. For giffen goods, the demand increases as the price increases, and vice versa. Demand for giffen good is heavily influenced by a lack of close substitutes and income pressure. Moving on, the other exception to this law is Veblen goods. Veblen goods are similar to giffen goods but with a focus on luxury items. Veblen goods are luxury goods that gain value and consequently generate higher demand as they rise in price, because the price of these luxury goods gives a signal of the owner's status. Veblen goods are named by economist Thorsten Veblen. who developed the concept of this exception. Other types of exception which we will be considering in this video is that call some goods quality are judged by its price, as sometimes consumers believe that if they are paying a higher price for a product, in return they are getting a better quality product. Last type which we can consider is speculative good. These are those goods which are bought by the consumers to be sold in future. Consumer purchases these goods in a hope that once the price these goods reaches peak, they will sell it to gain profit or to gain capital gains. So just for a recap, we will discuss the concept of demand, which is that the law of demand holds that demand for a product changes as the price changes, as they are negatively related. In other words, higher the price, the lower the demand, and vice versa. There are many other things to cover in this topic, as a whole topic of supply hasn't been discussed as of yet, which we will be discussing in upcoming videos very soon, inshallah. Well, that is it for today's video. I hope you would have liked it. Subscribing my channel and liking this video will act as a motivator for me. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Allah Hafiz.